Hi, good morning, everyone. First off, I just want to thank you guys for being here and being a part of this presentation. My name is Asia Kennett. I'm also a student here at Arizona State. I'm also a senior right now in a medical microbiology degree. So I've been lucky enough to study biology, chemistry, HIV, AIDS, communicable diseases, immunology, all the really fun things these last few years. And so I'm really excited to get to share a little bit of what I've learned with you guys. And then I also just wanted to take care of a couple things up front. And so this presentation is going to be about 5 minutes. And so thank you for your attention during those 5 minutes. But if you need anything during then, there's a restroom right out here, and you just turn right. They also have water fountains nearby. If you get a phone call, it will be a shorter presentation, but if you need to take it, please feel free to just head out the door. And also, I just want to thank you guys for coming and being passionate about protecting yourself and those you care about from HIV, because currently we do not have a cure for HIV, but it is 100% preventable. And so that's why this information is so critical, especially in the season of life that we are in college. It can just be contracted at different times. And so the more you know about it, the more protected you are. And then I also just want to tell you guys that this gets to be more of a conversation. And so I do not have a ton of experience, as you can, being a community health educator. I am still a college student like you, and so I'm still learning. And so if you have any questions, any concerns, anything that seems confusing, please tell me, because I'm still learning and growing, and you guys are going to be essential to my growth in that. And then also, if you have any questions, please raise your hand at any time and I can see if I can get to them. And if not, we'll have time at the end. Also, there is a link behind me and it'll access a Google form. Or if you don't feel comfortable asking a question in front of a group, you're free to kind of input that question anonymously and I'll answer those at the end. And so I'm super excited to talk to you guys about HIV transmission, which does anyone know what HIV is? Yes. Yes. So it is a virally transmitted disease. And what it does is it breaks down your immune system. And so common colds or flus can become common killers to those who have HIV. But there is an easy way to remember how to protect yourself and people around you. And it is 543, or yeah, 543, protect you and your loved ones from HIV. And so what it looks like is there's 5 different liquids that can transmit the HIV virus. There's 4 different doors to the human body, and there's 3 modes of transmission. So I'm first going to go through the 5 different liquids that HIV can be transmitted through. So, does anyone have any guesses before I begin? Yep, blood is a good one. So yes, HIV and its virus can be transmitted through the blood of an infected person to someone who is HIV negative. Any other guesses? Saliva? No, so actually saliva is not one of the 5. And so if an infected person's saliva mixes with another person's or another person who does not have HIV saliva, then there is no risk of transmission. But thank you for answering. Semen, yes, that is a good one. And so semen can transmit the virus. Going off that note, yeah, vaginal secretions. Yes, that is another way that HIV can be transmitted. And then there's one more. So it's actually called pre-ejaculate. And what that looks like is it's before ejaculation of a man. And so ejaculation from the penis. Before that happens, there's this liquid called pre-ejaculate. And so for any of those who have practiced or know of the blow-up method, it is not going to be effective in protecting yourself from HIV because pre-ejaculate can be very hard to time. And it can be hard for couples to know when is a good time to pull up. So it's important that we use protection. So going off that note, what do we think are some of the 4 doors um, that HIV can enter the body through? I have to say, it's similar to this room. You have kind of this, how did y'all get into this room? Yeah, the door, right? If you had come into the wall, what would you need to do? Yeah, get like a jackhammer or something and try to go through it, or like the window. you would have to shimmy through or break something. And so similar to this room, our bodies are similar in this regard with HIV transmission. And so the wall is kind of like your unbroken skin. You need a jackhammer or break it for there to be an opening. But you could throw stuff at the wall all day and it would just kind of bounce off, similar to HIV. And then the window is kind of like things that we can see, but we can't necessarily get into. So that would be your eyes, your ears, your mouth are not going to be ways that HIV can be transmitted. But does anyone have any guesses what possible doors the human body could offer to HIV? Yes. So the penis, specifically the tip of the penis, is going to be a door that HIV can be transmitted through. The vagina is another one. Saying of any other. Yes, blood. So similar to how if the wall is broken, if our skin is broken, you have access to that blood. So unbroken skin. And then there's one more. So breast milk actually can be a way HIV can be transmitted, usually from mother to child. So, but what are some activities that do not include the five different liquids and then also does not include the four different doors? So, what are safe activities? Yeah, hugging someone. So your sweat is not going to transfer HIV. And that's because you're unbroken skin. You would be able to hug someone. Kissing someone, yes, because your saliva will not be able to transmit HIV. So same goes with sharing food. You're able to share a meal, you're able to share a drink, and with those that you care about, who are HIV positive. Okay, any more? Okay. And so next are going to be our three modes of transmission. So three ways that we see HIV being transmitted from one person to another. So it's using our liquids and our doors. So what are activities that would include both of those? Sex, yes, specifically unprotected sex. You are able to have sex as an HIV positive person with very low risk of transmission through protection, medication, and other methods. But unprotected sex is going to be a way HIV can be transmitted. And why is that? Yes, because like semen going to the vagina, yes, or semen entering those other doors we talked about. And then also, an interesting one is blood. And so sometimes there is blood during sex. Specifically for all those who are shaving, you kind of get these little micro cuts when you shave sometimes. And so that can be a way that even if you're using protection, HIV can be transmitted. So it's good to just be cognizant of that or to be aware of that. And then what's another door do we think? So blood's blood, yes. So if you do a blood pact or if you are in an accident and there is kind of blood on the scene, that can be a way that HIV can be transmitted. So that's important to remember if you're in an accident with an HIV positive person or just an accident in general, it's good to be tested. And then what's another way? Yes, so like I said, breast milk, yes, mother to child. And that can happen during feeding, so breast milk during birth, because why? Yeah, there would be blood, there'd be other liquids. The baby also might have cuts on them from birth. And then there's also like the vagina and different doors surrounding that, yes. And then also it can be shared sometimes in womb. There is this placenta, which is this awesome, basically sac in the mother's belly that protects the child. But if that becomes broken or damaged, sometimes the blood can mix between a mother and a child and transmit HIV. And then, yeah, those are all of our three modes of transmission. And so my question for you guys are, what are some activities that would not transfer HIV? Yep. So we said eating and drinking, kissing and hugging. What about if I fall down, scrape my knee, and the blood dries over? If you touch that, would you be able to transmit HIV? No, because unbroken skin. And also, if a liquid dries, we use the term if it's dried, it's died. So the virus cannot be transferred anymore in any dried liquids. Yeah. Perfect. Well, if anyone has any questions, this would be a great time to ask them. And also, if you want to use the link behind me, But I thank you guys so much for your attention. And I thank you guys for realizing that 543 protect you and your loved ones from HIV. And those are the only ways that you can transmit HIV. So it's important that we get to support our community, especially those who have just been diagnosed or are living with a diagnosis, and know that we can participate in a lot of really healthy and fun activities with each other. So thank you guys so much. Okay, have a great day.